And welcome to South Boston Speedway race fans as we get ready to go with tonight's Edwards Setup Shop Sobo 200 presented by Track Time Entertainment. And Track Time Entertainment, the leading sim rig maker there, Dave in the cave with me here as well. My name is Al Smith, the boss man, and Dave, we are here at South Boston for 200 laps of legend car racing, and it's going to be a great night of racing.
Absolutely going to be a tremendous night of racing. South Boston, this is where you can find a lot of these legends cars, the Bandoleros, the late models, things like that, the underclass, so to speak, of the NASCAR world of things. So look for a lot of drivers that try to make names for themselves right here at South Boston. And tonight, Al, you mentioned it, going to have a lot of great racing action, but how about all of the special prizes and points and awards that are being handed out here tonight in this special South Boston 200? I mean, we've got stuff all over the place to give away here tonight. Going to be one heck of a show.
You're definitely going to have that. We have a lot of sponsors to thank here tonight, and we want to thank, Track Time Entertainment, based out of Texas and build the nicest sim race you'll find in the country, Dave. So they are the presenting sponsor. We really thank them for stepping up and to present this Sobo 200. We also want to thank Jones Racing Setups. They are giving out a free paint to the winner of the race and to the hard charger of the ESS Sobo Showdown 200 presented by Track Time Entertainment. And we also want to thank K2 Sauce. And this is right up your alley, Dave. They have the best sauce you'll ever have. Only sauce you'll ever need. Barbecue, steak, wing, and even stir fry. 3-pack products to the second place driver on laps 2, 22, and lap 122 here tonight. So unfortunately, you're not going to be on the racetrack, so you can't really win that. But you can check them out at k2sauce.com. We also got to thank Tyron Sim Wheels. They're going to give a driver a chance to win a free wheel, and we got to thank them for sponsoring this main event, or this race here tonight as well, along with the dirt effects here. We have those involved here, the K2 Sauce, Tyron. We got to thank a bunch of these sponsors here tonight as we get ready to go with tonight's racing event. It's going to be a great one, and it's going to be a good one. You see them all circulating down there. But how about this? The pole sitter going to get $30 here tonight as we get ready to go. It looks like they are out on the racetrack doing a little bit of qualifying, it looks like here, Dave. I'm not quite sure exactly, but we can tell you right now, Tyler Jalbert up on the front of this one. It looks like qualifying is underway here. And this is going to be for the Dirt FX Designs Pole Award. $30 going to go to the fastest driver right now out on the racetrack. And we see the number, I believe this is the number 30 of Jared Melton out on the racetrack. Currently third on the speed as he shuts it down. So he is sitting third in the overall chat there. Getting up to speed right now, the driver. The number 31, this is Steven Chun. Chun out on the racetrack, going to lay down his first lap of the qualifying session as he comes off of turn number 4.
Yeah, a lot of other drivers also out there on their qualifying times. Looks like the one of Robbie Kennelly out there, as well as the 22 machine. 96 of Charlie Beals also out there on track, but Chun making his way off of turn 4, going to come across the stripe for the final time. Where is he going to shake in? 18th on the speed charts right now. Can he improve? It looks like he's actually going to stay there, going to run about a tenth slower, so that second time not any faster. Al, you got your eye on anybody else out there on the track?
Oh, we've got a new quick time here tonight. Is the driver of the number 26. That's Parker Retzlaff. And Parker, that's a well-known name around the short track ranks here on the iRacing service. One driver getting up to speed. That's the number 50 of Tanner Huddleston out of California, as he's out on the racetrack working down the front stretch in that beautifully prepared looking number 50. See him hitting the turn number 1 and 2 right down in that yellow line, Dave, and that is going to be the key to get a good lap here around the South Boston Speedway.
Yeah, gonna have to keep it nice and tight around that yellow line. You might actually see a few of these drivers dip their left sides down underneath it and actually on that banking uncamber the car just a little bit, give them a little more grip with those right sides as they try to rip it off and back down these short little straightaways here at South Boston. I believe, Al, if I'm correct, this is only a 3/10 of a mile track, so the grip off, the forward bite off is going to be something key for these drivers to try to put the power down these short front stretches. Looks like we've got 25 drivers on the speed charts already, and about, I think that is right at 10 drivers yet to put in a time lap. The 100, the 52, the 11 machine, the 18, 21, 70, and 822 of Nick Jazbowski yet to put in their time lap. Parker Ratzliff still quick time, 17:11.
Yeah, and let's take a look at tonight's setup here tonight, brought to us by the Track Time Entertainment Group, and it is going to be 200 laps of racing. Competition cautions on lap 40, 80, 120, and 160. The drivers do have 2 fast repairs, Dave, and we know how South Boston can be. So with only competition cautions, there will be no yellow flags except for on lap 40, lap 80, lap 120, and lap 160. So the key of the game is going to be staying out of trouble. And right now, no one else out on the racetrack. So we want to, go through the list of sponsors. We started to do that before here, and you see them scrolling there on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. And we want to thank, Dirt FX Designs. They're going to set $30 to the Fast Time Award, currently held by Parker Retzlaff in car number 26. He is going to look in right now, unless someone knocks him off the top of this heap here for qualifying. He will be getting that $30 from Dirt FX Designs. We want to thank them for stepping up. And they're also going to give $30 to the halfway leader at lap 100. So good things out of them. We also got to thank Tyron Sim Industries, the lap 100, the mid-pack award they're calling it. They are going to give away a sim wheel, Dave, and you know how frustrating that can be. You've bent a few in your accidents on the racetrack, so at lap 100 you have a chance of winning a sim wheel there. And we got to thank Racing Vernon RVM here, $51 to the leader on lap 51 and lap 151. There is many more, but looking up onto the grid right now, this looks like it is possibly going to be our dash, I do believe. Waiting for
I do believe, Al, that is going to be the drivers in the dash. Looks like we've only got 3 out there.
Yeah, 3 drivers there. 15 laps in distance here for this dash. And starting on the front row, be car number 2. That is Mikey Killen out of Los Angeles, California. He drives at the Irwindale Speedway. And he is sponsored by the Irwindale Speedway and Tucker Tire Covina. On the outside of him will be car number 21. That is Caleb Steimer. Steimer out of Walton, Kentucky. And the Iron Tracks Caleb's Paint Shop entry in car number 21. And starting shotgun, car number 52, this is Robert Boyd out of Pensacola, Florida, in the Boyd's Automotive Gulf Coast Electric Motors, car number 52. So 15 laps in distance, and this is going to be your dash here off of turn number 4, pace truck down and away. And we are underway with our dash here for the ESS Sobo Showdown.
Green flag already in the air for the first time here tonight. Drivers go racing. Drivers mixing it up for a chance to win $15 here in the Dirt FX Designs. Or I apologize, that was the Polo Award. The Edwards Setup Shop Dash and Heat winner. These 3 drivers going to battle it out for that $15 right now. It looks like Mike Killen's going to have that in hand. And you can see, Al, that 52 doing exactly what I was speaking about earlier, already putting that left hand, that front left wheel down below that yellow line. A little bit of a struggle there through 3. He gets it corralled off of 4, going to stay right there about 2 car lengths behind that 2.
Yeah, he's really holding down there. The 52 right there as well. See the 2 wash up, and that allows the 52 to draw in on him as they work down the backstretch into turn number 3. The Killen and Boyd starting to stretch their advantage out. Smith in car number 70 did make it out there for the dash. Had to start from pit road. So Aaron Smith in car number 70 will be your 4th car here in this 15-lap dash presented by Edwards Setup Shop. And right now, the number 2 at Killen really showing the way up on the front of this one. The 52, really, I like how he gets to drive through the center off, Dave, and I think he's really starting to close in on your race leader.
It looks like he is starting to close that gap back up just a little bit. Not a very long run here for these drivers to try to get it done once they have fallen behind the 8 ball just a little bit. And right now, slowly but surely, that 52 is digging. He is coming. He is on the way to the front. And I believe, Al, we're gonna see this in just about a lap or two. And there it is, already battle side by side down into turn 3.
Yeah, good battle there in the 52 of Killen going to move to your number 2 spot. Crossover off of turn number 4. These drivers putting it all out on the line. And our production manager, Roger Muth, and we want to wish him a speedy recovery here. But he has noted that these 4 drivers won heat races a little bit earlier on in today. So these are heat race winners, Dave. Something that we missed in our notes and in pre-production, so we apologize to that. But Boyd now on the front row, the number 2 of Killen runs in your number 2 spot. Steimer and Smith rounding out your running order as they work in the turn number 3.
Yeah, into 3 and back out of 4 now. The 52 of Rocky Boyd was able to take that top spot away. Drivers slowly inching on the final few laps here. And, that's what it's really all about. You go out there and you qualify well. You end up in the front of a heat race. You end up having your chance and shot at making a little more money here tonight. Drivers out there vying for $15. Let's see who's going to be able to take that and put it in their back pocket.
Down the backstretch they go. They got 6 left. Oh, the 2 of Killen kisses the outside retaining wall. He keeps it pointed in the right direction. Now he tries to close in on the 52 of Boyd as the sun starts to set here at the South Boston Speedway. We're working towards nighttime with just 5 laps to go as they work down the backstretch. Does Killen have anything for him? He is closing that gap back in on the 52 of Boyd.
Boyd closing back in, but now you can see him moving away a little bit. The 2 sideways there as he closed in that last time by. So all up on the gas. You can see him getting all over it right now, trying to close it in as they go back into turn number 3. Just 4 laps remaining. 3 when we cross the line this time by. And that 2 of Killen, he is right there, Al. He's going to make another charge.
Yeah, he dives it down low into the back corner. About 2 car lengths now separating your top 2 down the backstretch. Boyd has it, but the 2 of Killen really throws it in deep in turn number 3, making a car length off of turn number 4. This time by the popsicle sticks are up. 2 laps to go for Boyd as they head down here to turn number 1.
Back into 1, almost side by side. The 2 almost gets it to the left rear of that 52. He's going to be able to stay out there. Boyd protecting that bottom. Here comes a run by Killen off of 4. White flag out this time around. 1 lap to go for Rocky Boyd.
Rocky Boyd going to have to hold off the advances to number 2 of Killen, really working the steering wheel on the inside of that number 2 into turn number 3 for the final time. Down to the inside. He washed up the track. Boyd up the racetrack, but Boyd will hold on. He will pick up the dash here tonight. Killen will come home second. Aaron Smith will cross the line in 3rd. And Steimer will round out your field in that 4th position.
Very close there, Al, coming to the end of the dash right there. And Killen gave it all he had, ran it way deep into turn 3, just couldn't quite get there. I think we would have seen some contact if he had got close enough, but just not able to really get there in time. So Killen gonna fall back and finish in 2nd. But how about that? You already said it, Rocky Boyd walking away with the $15 here in that dash.
Yeah, big paydays, a lot of things to go through. And right now, the final tune-up for this ESS Showdown 200 underway. And let's talk about what's going to happen throughout this race here. We have the Short Track Super League, who has stepped up for the Tough Luck Award, and that's going to go to the first car that turtles it. I like to call it turtle it. You call it roof sliding, grinding, whatever you want to call it. But the first driver up on its roof will walk away with $20 courtesy of the Short Track Super League. And that will be the Tough Luck Award here tonight for the Edwards Setup Shops. Sobo 200 presented by Track Time Entertainment. And how about this? The K2 Sauce Pack number 1 going to go to the driver who runs 2nd on lap number 2. And then Bubba Iverson Racing putting up $10 to the driver who runs 10th on lap number 10. Dark Moon Motorsports going to pay $15 to the driver in 18th spot on lap 18, Dave. So that's your first, 20 laps of this race. And then the second K2 Sauce Pack will go to the second driver, and that is running second on lap 22. What else we got?
Man, first I want to revisit something you said there. First car on its roof sliding gets $20 here tonight. We've got some fast repairs. I don't know. I might go try to get me $20 early, but that's just me. Some more awards we do have. Dark Moon with the lap number 41 per driver in 14th position is going to get $15 from Dark Moon Motorsports. Then the Early Domination Award presented by Racing Vernon Motorsports, the leader on lap number 51 will get $51 here tonight.
Yeah, and then on lap 97, the driver running fifth by Raleigh Duncan Racing will get a $5 award. And then on lap 98, courtesy of Dark Moon Motorsports, the driver running 8th and 9th will each receive $15. And then we get to the halfway point, and this is where we have a bunch of different races or race back here. The leader will get a free iRacing paint courtesy of Dirt FX Designs, and then also courtesy of JRS Racing. The halfway leader will also get $30. And then the driver who runs 20th will get the Tyron Wheels Mid-Pack Award. So that's all happening at the halfway point at lap 100, Dave. And at that point, well, we're going to know who's going to be up front, who's going to be fast, and who's going to be the car to beat. But it's also a matter of staying out of trouble, as we talked about competition yellows only. So if you can stay out of trouble in these first 100 laps, you have a good shot in the last 100.
Yeah, with the caution flags only being thrown for stage breaks, so to speak, to let drivers kind of bunch back up, see how they all restack and reshape out through the rest of the green flag running here. That's going to mix up a lot of things for drivers. And will we see anybody try to play any strategy games with so much out there on the line here tonight, Al? I mean, we've got different awards staggered throughout the entire race. And with those competition cautions coming out, with some awards right around them, will we see anybody maybe throw some strategy game, try to change their position on the track in order to manipulate the system in their advantage? I mean, a lot of money out there on the line, a lot of cool prizes. I'd love to get one of those K2 Sauce Packs prizes myself, but at the end of the day, drivers all vying for the $125 big prize in iRacing paint being paid out in the A main here tonight. So this feature has got a ton on the line.
Yeah, let's finish up the later half at lap 122. The driver running second will get our third and final K2 Sauce Pack, courtesy of K2 Sauce, and that'll be a good way there to maybe spice up your life there. They have the best barbecue sauce you will ever see, ever have, and you'll ever need. They can use it as barbecue steak, wing, or even stir-fry sauce, and, well, that'll be the third and final one given out there to the driver running in second at that point. Then we go to lap 151. The leader will get $51, courtesy of Racing Vernon Motorsports. And then we have these ones. The driver that leads the most lap will be Dark Moon Motorsports. They'll get a $10. We talked about it before. The Jabowski Designs will give a iRacing paint to the hard charger of the race at the end of this one. And the last place car still running will get a $5 award courtesy of Gelbert Racing. And, well, this race is going to be one that you're going to want to watch out there on the Trent Racing Network. Checkered flag is out on this session, Dave, and that means it is time for the ESS Showboat 200 presented by the Track Time Entertainment Group.
That's right. Drivers going to get ready to start hitting the starting grid, get into their positions. A lot of legend cars out there tonight. 28 drivers out on this grid here. So, I mean, as these drivers make their way through pre-race inspection and onto the starting grid, we'll get set to run down your starting lineup.
Yeah, and this is what it's going to look like setting quick time and qualifying, picking up the $30 award by Dirt FX Designs Pole Award. It is Parker Retzlaff in car number 42. Starting to his outside will be car number 04. That's Tyler Jalbert. Starting on the inside of row number 2, that'll be car number 97. That is Riley Duncan. Starting to his outside, the 87. That is Joel Blewett. Starting 5th tonight will be car number 16. That is Rocky Boyd. And to his outside will be car number 30 of Jared Melton. 7th starting spot will go to Jared Putnam, and outside of him, his dancing partner will be Cameron Iverson. And rounding out row number 5 will be Rob Marriott in car number 13 and Blake Wynn in car number 81.
Row number 6 inside the 54 of Sean Conklin. Jake Mace in the 36 going to line up just to his outside. Row number 7, Raymond Root and Charlie Beals. Robbie Kinley and Aiden Hill back there in row number 8. Row number 9 here tonight, Barrett in the 15 machine. Tanner Huddleston in the 50 right there to his outside, an 18th, 19th starting spot tonight. The 64 of Andrew Lemke. Nathan Soren gonna round out your top 20.
Rounding out the rest of your field, starting 21st will be Stephen Chun, Braden Moore in car number 32, Richard Moliani in car number 22, Jose Banales in car number 5, Rocky Boyd, Mike Killen, Aaron Smith, and Caleb Steimer, your 28 car field. And just like that, the field ready to go, the pace car getting ready to go down. It'll be Parker Retzlaff and the 04 Tyler Jalbert up on the front of this one. 200 laps of action. It starts now.
Green flag in the air, and drivers hit the loud pedal down through the front stretch into turn 1. 42 with the advantage right now. That 04 hanging strong on the outside. The 87 of Joel Buick right there as well. Riley Duncan now slotted in 4th. Rocky Boyd in the 16th slotted back into 5th position, and now already single file at the front of this field.
Yeah, working lap number 2. Jalbert right to the back bumper of Parker Retzlaff. He's got the 87 of Blewett. That's a 3-car tangle that's starting to separate themselves from the rest of the field. And at the end of this lap, Jalbert is looking to pick up that number K2 sauce pack. Number 1 will go to Tyler Jalbert. So congratulations to him as they work there. We got a great battle back here. Rocky Boyd in car number 16 now starting to put the pressure on the number 3 of Putnam as the top 3 drivers has separated themselves, is now making a 4-car breakaway as the 97 of Duncan starts to close. But we got side-by-side battle back here for your 10th spot as they head into turn number 1.
Yeah, back around Blake Wynn. That's going to be right around that area that gets that next award here on lap number 10. Driver in the 10th spot is going to walk away with $10 from Bubba Iverson Racing. And right now that position being jockeyed for between Sean Conklin, Blake Wynn, Rob Marriott right there just in front of them. So 4-5 cars all right here, all vying for that final spot inside the top 10.
And they got a 2-3, you could put 5-6 cars underneath the blanket as they run down here, already clicking off lap number 6. One driver in the pit area already is the number Richard Melaguni there, I believe. Sorry if I'm butchering his name there, Dave. I sent that one through the Smith blender.
Yeah, that one's definitely going to stay in the blender. Not going to touch that, but some early trouble for the 22 machine. Finds himself down on the pit road very early, and now Cameron Iverson actually falling through the field. That 10 slots back now down 2 positions from where he started tonight's race, rounding out the top 10. Nothing much going on at the front. Everything still remains the same. The 26 of Parker Retzlaff still leads Jacob Talbert with Joel Buick just behind him.
Yeah, Blewett really starting to put the pressure to the 04 of Jalbert as they work off of turn number 4 and down the front stretch here. A couple drivers moving up through the field. How about the number 1 of Kennedy? We have a wreck here as Raymond Root has gone around. He's down in pit road. And we got a couple drivers on the front stretch getting it pointed back in the right direction as your race leader is going to come off turn number 4. And they have to work around this. This is going to be the tricky part here as we're working lap number 10. Remember, spot number 10 here is going to get a $10 award courtesy of Bubba Iverson Racing. So let's take a look at that 10 spot. Right now, Cameron Iverson has that position, but Kennelly all over the back bumper, and he's going to hold on that position as they make lap number 11.
Yeah, and this is one of the closest battles on the track, Al. These 3 drivers all mixing it up for that final spot inside the top 10. Cameron Iverson has that $10 award for being in the 10th spot on lap number 10, but now Robbie Kennelly starting to make some moves. He's going to take that 10th spot away. Iverson back to 11th, and here comes Blake Wynn back into the picture. Once again, the 81 digging down on the bottom, not really getting the bite off that he needs at this moment, but these 3 cars still all over each other, still more battles all over this track, Al. We've got them at the front, we've got them in the middle, and we've got them at the back.
Yeah, all over the place, and you see cars coming off of pit road. Remember, they do have 2 fast repairs here on the racetrack, and these drivers a little bit early to be using them, but if they have to, they can still get back into it. They'll do up to 3 waiver rounds at the competition costings each. So that'll work into some drivers' favors. As we watch the number 10 of Iverson try to get back around. As we go back to the front, though, it is the number 42 of Retzlaff, 26 on your scoring tower there, as that is your race leader as they work down the front stretch or back stretch in the turn number 3. Lap traffic dead ahead of him in the form of the number 2 of Mike Killen. He's still on the lead lap. If you know that caution will be coming here in about 35 laps, how hard are you going to push to stay on the lead lap, Dave, knowing that there's a limited number of waiver rounds that the race officials are going to give?
No matter how close we are to that caution, that competition caution, and possibly getting a wave around, I'm doing everything I can to keep myself on the lead lap before I have to count on the race officials giving me my lap back. There's one sure way that you can get irritated very easily.
Oh, one car up a jailbird upside down, Dave. And that might be our hard luck award. Jailbird has gone upside down, and he was scraping the roof. He lands it back in all four and gets pointed back in the right direction, but that car looks wounded. But that might just be our Short Track Super League Tough Luck Award, and that might go to the 04 of Jalbert. He was running second at the time of that wreck. Let's take a look back and see what happened to Tyler Jalbert. See him working through turns 1 and 2 here, down to the bottom side of the number 2 of Killen. And, Killen got the outside wall, comes down and just clips him. Up and over the 87, also involved of Joel Blewett. And that a tough break for the 04 as we come back live here and watch the 87 Blewett, who runs second. Parker Retzlaff has really opened up the lead now after that mishap. 2.3 second as we are halfway through to our first competition yellow.
And with all that going on, with all that happening, we didn't have a chance to mention and highlight the Dark Moon Motorsports $15 award going to the 18th place driver back on lap number 18. That goes to the 70 of Aaron Smith II, who's still sitting back there in that 18th position. And now we're right on the door of yet another K2 Sauce Pack award being handed out back here for the driver running in second on the completion of lap number 22. So it looks like Joel Blewett and the 87 machine's going to walk away with a K2 Sauce Pack.
Yeah, he'll have to make it through turns 3 and 4 without any trouble, and looks like he will do so. So Blewett going to walk away and have some of that K2 sauce on his hands here once they get off out of this race. So congratulations and thank you to K2 Sauce for stepping up and doing that award proud here. So the next one coming up will be lap 41, which will be after the half at the first competition yellow. But how about Boyd? Rocky Boyd in that number 16 really starting to close in on the back side of the 87 of Blewett as they work off of turn number 2.
Well, I think this is one of the highest contested areas of the race right now. That 16 has the 3, the 54, the 97, all right there tucked in with them. We can go ahead and toss in Jared Melton in the 30, as well as Robbie Kennelly in that one machine. Now they're all within just about a second and a half of each other on the speedway right now. That's third all the way back through 8th position. So as these drivers still struggle for some handling, still struggling for some grip in these Legends machines, we still got a big group packed up with each other as your race leader, Parker Ratzliff, has just absolutely checked out on the field here tonight.
Yeah, he's working off turn number 4 right now, and it's going to put lap number 26 into the books. They're working lap 27. His next victim in front of him, that is, I believe, the 99 of, let's see here, I believe that might be Braden Morey in front of him, and that 99 automobile might be the number 32 on our scoring sheet here as they work down into turn number 1, as they work up the racetrack. So that'll put the number 99 of Braden Morey down 1 lap. So that leaves 18 cars on the lead lap. And Parker knows his way around these short tracks. We see him time and time again here in the Turn 3 Racing Network. Does a great job wheeling anything on these short tracks. So if you're in the mindset of Parker right now, you're trying to lap as many cars as possible, trying to get them down laps to kind of limit your competition throughout the rest of this event.
Yeah, and limiting your competition here at a short track, that is something that drivers are very keen on doing. How if you can get a driver 1 to 2 laps down very early, I mean, even well before that first stage break, that's exactly what you're going to want to do. The less people on the lead lap, the less drivers you may have to deal with and contend with later on, not just for a prize, but for the overall race win here. And contact just behind that 3 of Putnam. Oh my gosh, I believe that was Rocky Boyd involved in that one, up into the outside wall as well. Ooh, big time trouble for Boyd.
Yeah, Boyd able to get pointed back in the right direction. The 52 of Rocky Boyd, and Rocky Boyd the third involved. So that was a unfortunate circumstance for the Boyd relatives down there in turn number 1. They got pointed back in the right direction. That really shakes things up. Is now Putnam up to your third spot right now. And how about the hard charger of the race? The Jazbowski Designs hard charger. It goes to the number 1, or actually back there to your number 70. Aaron Smith up 10 spots since the green flag is dropped. Make it 11 as he works underneath the 16 of Rocky Boyd in the turn number 1.
Yeah, Aaron Smith on his way up through the field, and more drivers out. It looks like dropping a lot further than they are being able to gain here tonight. The 04 with some big time trouble. He's down 19 spots from where he started, as well as the 13 actually listed off of the raceway back in the pits right now. Not looking like his night's going to continue. So looks like we do have our first victim to fall from the field here. And well, Parker Ratzlaff, he's looking to just go ahead and end this first stage. Just about 5 laps remaining here in this opening segment for the Sobo 200. So Al, heck of a run already. We've seen some trouble. We've seen some action. What left do we have?
Yeah, right now we're going to work it into lap number 40 and heavy lap traffic for Retzlaff right in front of him. We got the 16 of Boyd and Aaron Smith there. So you got, 18th spot. Going to go down 1 lap is now the number 42 of Retzlaff will go underneath them. So we're 4 laps away. Going to make it 3 laps away off of turn number 2, or off of turn number 4, excuse me, to get to that first competition yellow. And that's when everybody can kind of, we'll take a deep breath here and kind of regroup and get back, there. Right now, it looks like your 3 free passes right now would be Maury, Benales, and Jalbert, or your first 3 cars lapped down. So they're hoping that this gaggle of cars in front of Ratzlaff, and this has got to be a little bit tense time for Parker, knowing that you're the race leader, you're setting a torrid pace, but you have heavy lap traffic in front of you.
Yeah, but at the same time, Al, he's got to have somebody in his ear, or even if he's got that box up there that we have that we can utilize here in iRacing. If he can see that relative, he sees quite a big gap. I believe it is just over the 4 seconds, and the caution coming out for the stage break. So, he had plenty of space not to worry about pushing the envelope.
Yeah, and so the yellow flag going to come out here on lap number 40, and that'll slow the field for our first competition yellow flag of the evening. And what an exciting first 40 laps there, as the field will pace behind the iRacing pace truck once it gets out onto the racetrack. And man, talk about the excitements and ups and downs. We saw the driver that was running second, Tyler Jalbert. He goes up on his lid, and now the 42 Retzlaff going to come down pit road. So he'd be the first driver down pit road, and you maybe put some fresh tires on that number 42.
Oh yeah, he's probably definitely mostly gonna guarantee to be putting tires on that machine. Everybody gonna come down pit road and get tires. I don't think we'll really see too many of these drivers gamble and try to stay out. We may see them come around pit road the first time it's open, but look for everybody to make a pit stop here. And now, well, Stephen Chun walking away with an award back there on lap number 41 for finishing in the 14th position. So that $15 coming from Dark Moon Motorsports. And something interesting with our awards, Al, I don't know if you're keeping track of this just like we are over here on my side of the room, but we've only got 1 driver to walk away with 2 awards. Unfortunately, Jalbert gets that upside down award. That's not necessarily one you want. He also walked away with the K2 Sauce Pack number 1 on lap number 2. We've since had a different driver get any other award here. So will we see everybody win, or will we start seeing people slot in those positions and try to fatten their pockets a little bit more?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. We see the 04 Jalbert on our screen coming down pit road now after getting the wave around. Everybody kind of getting put back into their proper position here as they work underneath our first yellow flag of the evening. So next yellow flag that will be thrown will be on lap number 80, 40 lap increments where these drivers come in. You see Jalbert getting four fresh tires. I almost said Goodyear. I don't believe these are on Goodyear. I believe the BF Goodrich tires here for these legend cars. But Retzlaff up on the front row. Blewett is going to run in your number 2 spot. How about 97 of Duncan? Duncan been quietly there in that NOS energy drink number 97. Runs there in the 3rd spot. 4th spot belongs to Jared Melton. And then Jacob Putnam rounding out your top 5 after the first round of pit stops. Everybody kind of getting put back into their proper positions, Dave, and the yellow flag still will fly here from the flagman Barney. But we want to thank so far everybody for tuning on in. And tough break. Just got word that Rob Marriott is out of this event. Dave, some electronical issues in the race car has put him behind the wall for this event. So tough break. Congratulations on making the field, though. They had a tough, grueling day to make it into the ESS Sobo 200 here, presented by Track Time Entertainment.
Yeah, and it's always a rough go at it when you put a lot of the time of the day getting the machine to work right. You race your way into the field. You make the big main event here, and then only to be stuck back behind the wall off of the racetrack due to some unforeseen circumstances and things out of your hands. And, well, Al, it just like in real life with some of the RC stuff you do, as well as most of our fans and friends out there in TV land also know about it in the real world. Sometimes you get there, things are going great, and then just one little tiny part breaks, and, well, you just can't get to change it, or you just don't have it because it's not one you typically have to worry about. So things happen, especially here in the virtual world of iRacing.com. And, well, we get set to go back green flag racing. I believe the field going to get the one to go this time by, as we have a string of drivers making their way around this front pack as they get the final wave around.
Yeah, final wave around's happening, and I believe we're going to stay yellow flag as these drivers will get their lights come back out around the South Boston Speedway. We're working in close to that early domination award, and right now the first 48 laps being led by the number 42 of Parker Retzlaff, and he's looking to wrap up there. If he can hold on, to that, he can pick up some extra cash for leading the most laps led, which is also presented by Dark Moon Motorsports. So Dark Moon Motorsports might be making out the checks to Parker Retzlaff here, as now the lights, they're still on the pace car. So it looks like Parker Retzlaff's going to hold on to this lead, at least possibly to lap 51, to get the early domination award by Racing Vernon Motorsports. That'll be $51 in his pocket, as now the field will double up. We're going to go back green flag racing, this time off of turn number 4.
And, Al, this is interesting because it's lap number 51 when that award's handed out. Could you imagine how frustrating it would be to be inside of that 42 machine? You've led all 50 laps, but if you're not leading at the end of lap number 50, you're not walking away with that award. How tough is that for that 42 to swallow as we go green flag racing once again? Drivers off of 4, hammer down, 42 scoots away.
Yeah, he'll scoot away. Blewett will get right back in line there behind the number 42. Maybe a little bit of a bumper contact off of turn number 2 as they work down the back stretch. Looking out the backside of Park Retzlaff's class. Back at Blewett as they come off turn number 4. And they will stream by here. And Retzlaff will hold on to that award. But a great battle for your 3rd spot down here in the turn number 1.
Yeah, close battle there. 3rd on the track, the 97 of Riley Duncan's got Jared Melton, as well as Jacob Putland, Tyler Jalbert with a big recovery. Jalbert now back in, getting ready to knock on the door of a top 5, sitting back in that 6th position. The 30, slinging it sideways up there on the high side, Al. You see that, just ripping it, tires smoking and all. Drivers drifting here at South Boston.
Yeah, Melton going to lose a few positions there, but able to keep the car out of the concrete off of turn number 2. And that is very tricky to do after South Boston. That wall comes out and it'll grab you and wreck your life off of turn number 2. You see the tire marks right there on the exit of turn number 2 as the cars flash by it. But this track here, very, very fun. Multiple grooves of racing. We saw it in the early stages of this race. But now they work off the turn number 2 once again on the backstretch. But Dave, they're right now kind of getting back into the rhythm of it as we see the number 10 of Iverson. He works underneath the 96 of Beals. Beals works the outside in that red number 96 off turn number 4.
The 54 of Sean Conklin going to look to the inside now, see if he can't put Beals back a spot. And Beals kind of stuck up there in no man's land right now, getting freight trained by the drivers down there on the bottom lane. He's going to look to put that 96 down just in front of Blake Wynn. Going to do so. They'll stack up for nose to tail back into turns number, I believe that is turn number 1. Yes, out of 2 now. And it looks like things starting to slowly sort themselves out. Field beginning to look a little more organized, a little more content to run single file. As back at the front once again, your race leader, he's going to run into some back markers already here, Al. So lap traffic going to come into play early here in this second stage.
Yeah, it looks like the first car they're going to come up on, and that's the 52 of Rocky Boyd. They're working the outside of the racetrack, so kind of two different lines right now that the cars are running. But how about Blewett? This is the closest we've seen someone give pressure early on in this run to Parker Retzlaff, as they got to keep it pinched there, and Blewett able to keep the car wound up. And now it'll be the 42 of Retzlaff. He gets sideways. Bumper contact off turn number 2. Bid for your race lead down the backstretch. Drag race into turn number 3. We might have our first lead for pass. Retzlaff going to rip the lip, and he'll get the momentum on the outside. At the line, it was Retzlaff by, I would say, bumper paint. And now he'll tuck in the second crossover off turn number 2.
Crazy racing action for the top spot. Radsliff losing the lead. Grabbed it back right there at the start-finish line. Now looking for another crossover. Slide job off of 4. Radsliff going to go back to the point. Blewett going to stay right behind him. And you can see him just getting sideways through that corner, staying hammered down, never once really lifting. And, well, that's given that 87 just enough. He's going to get there to the inside, work his way back off of 4, drag race to the line. I think we've had a different lap leader. Yes, going to go to Joe Blewett that time. First time we've had a different leader at the line.
Yeah, and right now they're still crossing it over, and this battle is allowing Duncan in at 97 to close in. You see the 87 of Blewett get a little bit loose that time off of turn number 4. He'll lose 2 car lengths to the 42 of Retzlaff. Now they'll get nose to tail once again, but the 87 of Blewett really, really hanging it out here in the turn number 3, trying to close back in on Parker Retzlaff. So these two drivers duking it out has really allowed Duncan, Putnam, and Jalbert. You see them just there out the backside of this battle. They've really closed in on this battle for your race lead.
That they have, and I want to talk about a little bit of a battle going on back to the tail end of the lead lap right now. Al Barrett in the 15 machine, he's got Aaron Smith the second all over him right now. Jack Mason, the 36 machine, just about a half a second back from them. Looks like a 3 to 4 car difference right there for Mason, the 36 machine. But we've got small battles all over the track. The 27 Aiden Hill slowly starting to close in and have Stephen Chun all over him just in front of them. Battles going on for supremacy inside the top 10. So we've got it at the front, the mid pack in the back. Hard racing action all over this short track here at South Boston.
Yeah, Blake Wynn right there in 81. But how about the 10 of Iverson? He just gave a shot to Soren in car number 25, saying, hey, let's get going there. Kind of a nice little bumper check into the corner. They got the 96 of Beals in that battle as well. And right there in front of him, Conklin. Oh, one car in the outside wall. Believe that might have been more. It was not. It's trying to think. Maybe Kennelly was involved in the outside wall, but he runs back here as they work lap number 69. Parker Retzlaff starting to open up smoke off of turn number 2. Everybody keeping it pointed in the right direction, but action all over the South Boston Speedway as we look high from above with our blimp cam to see all the action all the way around this racetrack.
Yeah, smoke was coming from the tail end of the 10 of David Cameron. He got absolutely sideways back in the corner back there in turns 1 and 2. That stacked up Charlie Beals, Blake Wynn, Andrew Lemke, as well as Aiden Hill. And it is a hard battle back here for that 8th all the way back through. I would call it about 14th position on the track. Aiden Hill with a little bit of an incident now, but he's able to corral it after bouncing off of the outside wall. The 25's all over the rear bumper of the 10 machine, pushing that rear Nerf bar like crazy, man. These drivers mixing it up, not afraid to throw some haymakers.
No, these cars are able to withstand some of these bumps and bangs that they have going down into the corners. And right now, a lot of good racing going on all the way around the racetrack. Right now, we watch this battle inside the top 10 as it's side by side. The 25 automobile of Soren, he runs 11th, but he's really cooking the outside, trying to get the momentum to crack the top 10, and he will take that away from Wynn as they head into turn number 3.
Yeah, and this is where that battle has been out. I've been watching this group back here for upwards of about 20 laps or so, and they have just been throwing hooks and jabs at each other lap after lap. We've seen different spots change over and over again. Slowly, Charlie Beals has stepped away from Sorensen. Blake Wynn now is going to look to the inside, try to put that 81 back into the 10th spot. Going to do so for the time being. Soren still out there on the outside, though, trying to charge towards the front. And, man, I tell you what, we've seen a lot of these drivers sideways out. The setups have got to be major loose for these drivers.
Yeah, see a little bit of contact there as Wynn got up the racetrack into the outside in the left side of the 25 of Soren. So Soren really working the outside of that racetrack. And you got to also remember there was an incident limit. So these drivers got to be careful about how much they're using up their car and banging on each other. If they hit that incident limit, they will be removed from the server. So these drivers all have a lot to deal with as you work lap number 77, and they work down here in the turn. We are quickly closing in on our second competition yellow flag of the evening.
And it looks like Parker Retzlaff will lead this field to the second caution flag of the evening, our second stage break, if you will. Hard battle still going on back here with the 10 of Iverson and Beals. And the rest of the field still making some great laps. Lap time not really falling off too much here, surprisingly, with these long runs. Drivers still within about just about a half a second to close to 8/10. So some drivers not doing as well on keeping the tires underneath them as the caution flag flies to end our second stage.
Second stage going to go to Parker Retzlaff. He and Blewett put on one heck of a show. That race lead was up to a 1.4 second gap before the second yellow flag there. So how much did Blewett learn there about how hard he can push the car before it'll go away when him and Parker were throwing haymakers and crossovers? That was amazing racing at the beginning of this stage.
Absolutely, and I mean, amazing racing really all the way through this entire event so far here. And Al, something that we haven't really seen so far here tonight is any type of strategy, any type of tire or fuel strategy. You've got to start asking yourself, when are drivers going to attempt something on pit road? Because if you can't get around them on the track, you got to find a way around them on pit road. I wonder if it's too early for any of these crew chiefs to maybe throw a little wrench or a haymaker into this thing.
Yeah, we were watching the 42 of Retzlaff down in pit road right now. They took front tires, now the back tires going on the race car. But man, this has been an amazing race so far. We want to thank everybody that's tuning in. These drivers are putting on a show for you. If you're on the Facebook side, hit that thumbs up. Let these drivers know how much you are appreciating their efforts for them. And if you're on the turn 3 side, make sure you do the same thing, hitting that thumbs up. These drivers want to know that you appreciate their efforts out there. And hey, if this is your first time watching the Turn 3 Racing Network, hit that subscribe button for us, and you get notification every time we go live with racing. And, well, we have a lot of racing, all the way from the short tracks here to the dirt tracks, as well to the high banks of Daytona and every point in between. So you have a lot of racing that will come your way in a week's time, and you get subscribed and you get notification every time that we go live here.
Yeah, that's one of the best ways to keep up with all the great action here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Another great way out. These drivers can go over there to Facebook and just go ahead and hit a like and follow, and they can just get a lot of updates and things of that nature of what's going on back behind the scenes. They can also try to check in, see about that fresh merch. We got the swag as these drivers nail the gas and go back. Green flag racing, I believe. Well, no, looks like caution going to stay out actually on the track. Looks like everybody was ready to go. False moment there for me. Got me excited.
Yeah, I wanted to point out that the 10 of Iverson maybe played a little bit of strategy there. Looks like maybe didn't come down pit road. Him and Barrett Pohemus in car number 15. So the drivers up on the front of this one not coming down pit road. And they are now your new race leaders here on the front stretch as they get ready to come down here. So a little bit of that strategy you were talking about. And how about Iverson, the driver out of Buckley, Washington, and with the Wingnut Motorsports? And you know what his accomplishment driver information is, Dave? Professional klutz.
I don't know if that's a good thing now that he stayed out.
Well, we're going to find out now. But, hey, the field starting to get still lined up here as the lights stay on and out. How about the driver outside of him? Well, we got a driver from Washington, and now this driver is from Wimberley, Texas. And he's a two-time second-place finisher in the Moderna Junior Late Model ranks. And if you have, MAV TV or follow anything that happens out there, this name might be very, very familiar to you is Barrett Pohemus in car number 15. And well, he finished second place finisher in the Moderna Junior Late Models, and that's a great program that they have out there at the Moderna Speedway, where they let these kids develop and become their own race driver, and it's good to see them improve throughout the season, and they do a lot of the good things for them, and those are our superstars of the upper ranks of racing working their way through.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to see the grassroots racing movement being given so much life, especially in the recent years. A lot of grassroots racing re-emerging back onto the scene, and that's where everybody's got to start somewhere. And right here at small little tracks like South Boston, that's where some of the great NASCAR names made their original name, was right here on tracks like this. So it's always good to see drivers able to come out and prove themselves at places like South Boston, like, as you said, Moderna, as we get, I do believe the pace truck lights have went out again. I think we've got one to go this time by.
One to go. Maybe the electrical short is finally going to get that Chevy Silverado pace truck that'll make the hard left-hand turn into the pace. So it'll be Iverson and Pohemus up on the front row. It'll be Retzlaff and Blewett in row number 2. Green flag is back up, and we are back underway here in the ESS South Boston Showdown 200.
Pohemus not getting going at all. He's going to drop from that second spot all the way back to 5th at this point in time, and he's got more drivers hungry right behind him. The 97 of Riley Dunklin, Sean Conklin, they're going to make
trouble off of turn number 4. The 10 of Iverson and made contact. They're 4-5 wide in turn number 1. Cars all over the place. 2 going around. Aaron Smith involved. Big trouble down in turn number 1. We stay green. Is everybody going to get pointed back in the right direction? But Retzlaff going to jump out to your race lead there, Dave. Sorry to jump on you, but major trouble down there in turn number 1.
And that was the big one. We had all types of cars caught up and involved in that one, man. The list is actually a little bit too long to go through, but multiple drivers right there, Al, with that trouble caught up, involved, and well off of the pace and now. But at that front, driver that's been comfortable right where he's been all night, sitting inside of that 42 machine. Ratzliff set sail, already up to a second lead.
Now working off of the corner, it'll be Jalbert in that 5th position, but behind him it is a side-by-side battle. The 87 of Blewett. Blewett was involved in that altercation or got out of shape with the 10 of Iverson. We wondered how a little bit of strategy would play out, and I think that you kind of need or want tires, Dave, after every competition yellow flag, because we just saw right there that it wasn't very good on older tires for those top 2. Is Pohemus still holding on inside the top 10. He runs there as you see him in the turn number 3, and at number 15 He runs there in the 8th position. Iverson able to shred back into the 9th spot. So they did lose some track position from the start of this one, but not too bad. Still riding inside the top 10.
Yeah, and I'm not sure about the tire count for these drivers, so you got to wonder if that's part of it. And I think we've got a driver on his side down there, and I believe that is turn number 3. Took a look at Riley Duncan going by through 3 and 4 last time by, and I thought I caught a car up against that inside wall on its side.
You did.
Yes, indeed. I believe that's the 6.
I believe that might be the 6 automobile.
16. I apologize there. Al can only really see the 6 on it like that.
Yeah, take an angle there. He is stuck on the inside wall up there. And Rocky Boyd, the 3rd, going to do his impersonation of a turtle as the field will work by him here down in the turn number 3.
Yeah, tires spinning on the rear. They're not going to work that way, so he's going to have to probably more than likely tow in. Well, he's already down multiple laps by being stuck down there on that inside wall, so he'll lose a few more laps here as he continues to stay stuck on his side right now. But battle on the track. Sean Conklin, Jacob Putnam, they're battling for 2nd and 3rd on the speedway. Race leader has stepped out to quite a bit of an advantage. Robbie Kennelly starting to close in 4th. Tyler Gilbert back there in 5th. Blewett starting to close back in. Duncan also re-emerging on the scene. So we've got from 2nd to 7th all over each other. And Aiden Hill, Tanner Huddleston, they're involved in a little on-track incident back towards the tail end of this field.
And Parker Retzlaff going to collect a little bit more. It looks like one car down on the inside. That's the 2. Again, down in turn number 1. But Parker Retzlaff just picking up an iRacing paint courtesy of Dirt FX Designs as he led the halfway point. Also, $30 richer is Parker Retzlaff as he wins the JRS Racing Halfway Leader Award. And it was, I believe, it was the number 5, Benelis, as he will pick up the $30 from Tire and Wheels Mid-Pack Award. So that was our halfway point. The next award up will be the K2 Sauce Pack, number 3, the 3rd and final one on lap 122 for the driver running 2nd. As we watch the 42 of Retzlaff, he works underneath the 25 of Soren. Is Soren trying to stay on the lead lap back there in the 17th position?
Yeah, no, Al, I'm going to go a little bit further back through the field right now, taking a look at that 30 of Jared Melton sitting in the 30 car. He's all over that 64 of Andrew Lemke. They have been going at it for about 10 laps now, and that 30 is just getting absolutely sideways down there on the inside, and we're not seeing any tire smoke, so I think it's setup made. I think that car gets a little yawed out there, just like a dirt track car, and most of these drivers are running dirt setups here in these Legends cars tonight at South Boston.
Yeah, they elected to go with the Dirt Legends car, a little bit more suspension availability there, I believe, with these cars, and the drivers say these ones drive on the asphalt more like what a real Legends car feels like. I myself would never know because I haven't been able to get behind the wheel one of these Legends cars, but they are putting on a great show for us and everybody moving up through. How about the hard charge of the race right there? You talked about him early on. Is Aaron Smith still holding on to that hard charger, which will be a free paint courtesy Jazbowski Designs if he can hold on to it. He's under fire though from Stephen Chun. Chun going to take a peek to the inside in that number 31 in the turn number 1.
And I just watched Jose Benalis in the 5 machine. He flipped over, was spinning like a top, and then Melton in that 30 caught a piece of him, sent him flying up the track, spinning like a top. Benalis going to go ahead and hit that tow button. He'll be back on the pit road for quite some time, slotted in now in that 22nd
one
spot.
car around. That looks like Steven Shun has gone around. The field's going to split him down in turn number 1. He's still sitting there now, backing up the racetrack. So everybody able to get by is now Chun going to try to get the car rolling, but now we'll take the tow into the pit road. So couldn't get the car rolling there, but everybody doing a great job splitting the number 31 of Chun as he has gone around in turn number 1, and now down back on pit road as we watch Parker Retzlaff work off turn number 4. A lot of great battles here all the way back here for your number 2 spot. Look at this gaggle of cars. You've got it being led by the 54 of Conklin, Putnam. And how about the number 1 of Canali? Started back in the 15th position. He has found himself into the 4th spot in a name very familiar here on the Turn 3 Racing Network and on the short track scene. Robbie Canali going to try to make it 3 wide in the turn number 1.
Amazing racing action. I was about to say, Al, check out this battle, but you jumped right to it there. Conklin, Canali, as well as Jailbert, Blue, and Duncan all over each other right now. Still close battles, man. I tell you what, that 54-1, they have been going at it.
Yeah, Canali a little bit sideways, Blew It now going to take a run down him. He's got the 0-4. Jalbert giving him a little bit of a bumper push. Maybe 2 of these legend cars together doubles the horsepower down the straightaway. As this is a great battle here as we watch it. Is Robbie Canali trying to make it inside the 3rd. He's trying to hold off Blew It, who's all over his back bumper, as they work down here in the turn number 3.
Cars all over each other near the front of this field, but towards the middle of the pack, out back there around the 8th, 9th, 10th position, drivers have started to gap themselves out quite a bit. They've got upwards of about a second or more in between all of them. So as we make our way through the later parts of this 3rd green flag run here, you can really see the separation on the drivers with the good long run cars. Your driver sitting from 2nd all the way back through 6th, still battling, still grouped up here with each other. They have the 25 of Nathan Soren, who has scored off of the lead lap, tucked in right there with them. But man, Al, I tell you what, these drivers, they're not hesitating. They're not leaving anything on the table here as we cross the line to begin lap number 118.
Yeah, and Blew It really working, got passed by Canali, and now Jalbert trying to work underneath in that 0-4 as they work through turns 1 and 2, and now on the front stretch, Jalbert going to move up to that 5th spot. And we saw him on his lid earlier. I believe he used one of those quick repairs that they have here in this race as they work down the backstretch. So Jalbert back to the 5th spot. I would say he's probably passed the most cars after going to the back of the field. Now got the wave around. He has raced his way back inside the top 5 as our 3rd competition yellow flag coming out here on lap 120.
And with that competition caution coming out at lap 120, I do believe that's going to give our next award, the K2 Sauce Pack number 3 award, going to, if I'm not mistaken, that's going to go to Jacob Putnam, who's sitting in 2nd right now.
Yeah, and Putnam right there in your number 3. It all depends if they come down pit road or not. If the pits are open this time by, we'll have to check with timing and scoring here and see. As they see, Retzlaff, he's going to make the hard left-hand turn, so everybody's going to come down pit road. So I believe, well, it depends on where the 3 is pitted. It might go, it looks like he will get that. So congratulations to Putnam. Unofficially going to grab that K2 Sauce Pack, the 3rd and final one of the race here. And if you would like to get your hands on some of the best sauce you'll ever need, well, you can do it at k2sauce.com.
And you know, Al, you mentioned something that might be up my alley. I'm going to have to go out there and check out K2 Sauce Pack. I'm a huge smoking fan. Love to get the smoker out on the weekends, and whether it's brisket, chicken, you've got wings, you can do anything on a smoker. I've done macaroni and cheese on the smoker as well. So I'm going to have to check out some of the products, and we'll give you a turn 3 review coming up here in the next few weeks. What do you say? I think the fans would enjoy that.
I'll have to jump on the turn 3 Learjet and come on down to, into the North Carolina where you're from, Dave, from my abode up here in New York. And maybe we'll do a little taste testing together.
Well, come on down, but I've got more than enough. As you can see earlier, shot you a little shot of what came off the grill there. And, well, our good buddy said it'll look better than what he had just recently up there at a restaurant in Tennessee. So not going to brag, but Dave in the Cave throwing it down on that grill, man.
Sounds like a big plan here. Is once again Dave in the Cave working with myself up here as we bring you tonight's ESS 200. And Dave, got your little logo up on there. And, man, I am a fan of that. It's great looking, and we do a great job here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. The field looks like they're starting to double up. And Blake Wynn I believe, stayed out this time. Tyler Jalbert, we talked about him early on. He's going to restart in that number 2 position. We saw him have pace at the beginning of this race and then had a little bit of trouble there down the backstretch when the 2 of Killen kind of just got the wall and it shot him down, which is very, very easy to do here at the South Boston Speedway.
Yeah, and earlier in the race, I like this strategy. I like the strategy out of those 2 drivers. I believe it was the 15 of Barrett Polmus, and I can't remember exactly who it was that stayed out there with him. But after seeing this big struggle that they had on those old tires, I'm not so sure I like the strategy out of this 81 machine right now, staying out on the old tires. I think he's going to get gathered up, gobbled up quite quickly, and he's going to have to be real careful because it looks all the way back to 15th spot, has those fresher tires. So he may fall through the field quite a bit here, but we've only got ourselves, about 33 to 34 laps before we get the final caution. So, well, if he can gain a little bit by staying out, I guess it's a good call, but I don't know. I think I want those fresh tires.
And for those of you watching that think that Blake Wynn's name is familiar, well, he's from Smithfield, Virginia, and Dave, he is a 3-time Maxxis national champion, and that is a big deal in the go-kart scene. So he's out there. He wants to thank Platinum Lures and his parents as his sponsors here as he leads the Edwards Setup Shop Showboat 200 presented by Tracking Time Entertainment here tonight. So great battle up on the front of this one, but yeah, the go-kart scene really represented up on the front row is the 81 of Wynn. Everybody's starting to get doubled up here, though. Yellow lights come back on out, whereas the field not quite into shape. But yeah, great job there. 3-time national champion. We've had drivers from the Moderna late model series in there. The crew, for the number 5 USAC car, that was the number 5 of Jose Benales out of Indiana. So he crews for the Baldwin Brothers number 5 USAC sprint cars. So you got crew members, you got drivers, you got everybody all over the place in this field. And you got Tyler Jalbert out of Auburn, Maine. And, I can't really go into what his profession is, but he likes to throw them back, if you know what I mean.
All right, green flag off of turn 4.
Down in the turn number 4, it'll be the 0-4 of Jalbert trying to work the outside. Parker Retzlaff going to cross him up 3 wide down the backstretch. We've got him fanning out in 2 rows, 3 deep. Jalbert going to go to the outside. Now he'll change lanes, go to the penthouse to the outhouse down here off of turn number 4. Cars making contact. That is Putnam. Putnam making a little bit of contact. I believe that was with the number 1 of Canali, maybe, or maybe not. That looks like Conklin in the 54. These drivers really putting it out there as they work through turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, big mix-up at the front of the field as everybody with the fresh tires tries to make their way around that 81 of Blake Wynn. Wynn struggling on the outside right now. The 3 is going to go to the inside. Here comes the 87. Hard charge down the backstretch. Trying to look to get that spot through 3 and 4. Going to nail the gas, and the 87 is going to power right around that 81. Will he block off the run now? That's coming from Robbie Kennelly. Or, well, yeah, looks like he's going to, but that's going to open up the door for that 30 of Jared Melton out there on the outside. Going to have to jump up there to block that run. That opens the door once again on the bottom side. The 1K of Robbie Kennelly coming through, and that's going to leave the door open for more drivers to try to get up there. Wynn falling through the field like a rock with those old tires.
Yeah, his next one that'll be up there will be the 97, and now Duncan taking a look underneath the 30 of Melton. But we had a change for a second spot as Conklin has gotten around the 0-4 of Jalbert. So Jalbert now back to your 3rd position. Then it's the 3 of Putnam and Blewett rounding out your top 5 as we go back to watch this battle with Riley Duncan. The 15 of Polhemus taking a look down to the inside underneath Melton through turns 3 and 4. Melton really working the outside. 1 car facing the wrong way. That is Cameron Iverson, who sits backwards on the field off of turn number 4. He'll get that pointed back in the right direction, but your race leader going to be closing in on him as they work down the front stretch.
And now I'm noticing a lot of these Legends cars getting very close to the outside wall, especially off of turn number 2. One of the only drivers that I haven't seen get very close to that wall is your race leader, the 42. He keeps it about a half a lane off of that wall. And with the race lead right now, with a 1 second advantage, he has the opportunity, he has the benefit of taking a little bit of a safer line while being able to look in the rearview mirror and make sure the drivers aren't closing in behind them. But it looks like once you get out front, once you get that clean air, you're able to kind of manipulate the way you run your race, the way you run your line. And well, as of right now, nobody has had an answer for Radsliff. We have seen one driver give him a little bit of a fight, but just it seems like Radsliff just has something underneath that hood that nobody else has, and he is absolutely dominating here tonight.
Yeah, he's already picked up a big payday looking to go. He can hold on to this one. He's got just over 60 laps to go. He'll get $125 plus a free iRacing paint. So he's going to come out of here and he'll have quite a bit, as he was the halfway leader, picking up the Dirt FX Designs halfway leader for iRacing paint. Also a $30 award from the JRS Racing went to Retzlaff. As we see the battle for your third spot, Jacob Putnam really trying to work the bottom side of the 04 of Jalbert. Down here in the turn number 3, Jalbert works the outside. The 87 of Blewett really trying to figure out which lane to go with. We saw Blewett early on in this race and that second stint really go toe-to-toe with Retzlaff. But he has mirrored back here in the 5th spot, and he is stacked up here as they work down in the turn number 3.
Yeah, stacked up back there around 3rd, 4th, 5th on the speedway. The 3 of Jacob Putnam, Tyler Jalbert, and Joel Blewett, they continue to battle it out. The 04 stuck to the outside right now. And Al, how important is it to keep that inside? Because it looks like that's where everybody wants to be. We have seen a few drivers keep the momentum on the high side and let it work for them. But with short tracks, you're a little bit more of an expert in that field than I am. How critical is it to be able to roll the center on the bottom?
The bottom definitely is the shortest way around here. And with the dynamic track and the new tire models and stuff, not really quite sure. I have never tried to do what these guys are doing in the Legends cars, as I can barely make it off pit road in any of the cars that I get in. But these drivers here put on a great show. But definitely down, we're seeing the more dominant line down near that yellow paint. And you can get down there, and when you dip the left sides below that yellow line, Dave, it really off cambers the track. It helps the car rotate a little bit. And I think right now that's where you really want to be. That's the bread and butter. You see Retzlaff just paint in that yellow line, drifts up, keeps the momentum up. So these cars, they do have a lot of power. The power to weight ratio is incredible for these Legend cars. But you need to also be able to, keep it wound up, keep the momentum up, as we see a 1.4 second gap back to our second place of Sean Conklin. And he is starting to gap himself over to number 3 of Putnam, who rounds out your top 3.
Yeah, and a little bit further back behind them, Al, I'm going to jump back to another battle on the speedway. Looks like the 81 of Blake Wynn. He started on in the first position on that latest restart. He has dropped all the way back to the 8th position. So right now, a net gain of 2 positions. If he's going to be able to keep that, he's got about 12 laps to maintain this spot to have an overall gain of 2 positions on the speedway. And it's a hot and heavy battle just behind Aaron Smith. Barrett Polomus and Jared Melton battle it out on the track. That's for the last spot inside the top 10. Aiden Hill right there with Andrew Lemke as well. Nathan Soren in the 25. Al, he was listed 1 lap down. I do believe he's got himself back onto the lead lap.
He does. He's working his way back towards the front of this racetrack as they work here. This is a good about 6-7 car battle as they work down here into the current number 1. The lap 151 going to the book, the race leader. How about Racing Vernon Motorsports giving $51 to Parker Retzlaff as he leads lap 151 as he works up behind the number 10 of Iverson to put Iverson a lap down here. Remember, Iverson was pointed in the wrong direction. He is the last car on the lead lap in the 18th position currently as they work off turn number 4. But the money and the prizes for Retzlaff, he's going to need an armored guard to take in, get out of the racetrack here tonight.
Yeah, and Retzlaff, as you said, going to need an armored car escort to get out of here tonight. He's walked away with 4 prizes so far here tonight, walking away with the $51 award there back on lap number 51, walked away with 2 of them there on lap number 100, the halfway point here tonight, walked away with an iRacing paint as well as another $30, and now $51 going back into his back pocket again for leading at lap number 151 here tonight. That award being provided to you by Racing Vernon Motorsports. So, yeah, Al, a lot of money on the line here. We've still got the final payout to pay out here tonight, obviously, because, well, we're not done just yet. But looks like Razliff may be sporting 2 fresh paint schemes here very soon.
Yeah, and he just, with that last lap led, he just locked up the most laps led. So that's another $10 courtesy of Dark Moon Motorsports for providing the driver the most laps led, and that'll go to Parker Retzlaff as he works underneath Iverson. He's trying to make it 17 cars on the lead lap as he works here down the backstretch off of turn number 4. And Iverson really challenging back on the outside. We're getting to that stage in the run where these tires are starting to get hot, get a little bit worn out, and I believe that's when you start seeing the outside line start to maybe become the more preferred line. It is when these tires worn out, you get to carry a little bit more momentum and a little bit more speed off the corner. You kind of pinch that car to your inside down, and they really have to check up to stay off of you. As we watch this, as Parker Retzlaff really starts to close in back in on the 10 of Iverson, changing up his line a little bit of a more higher entry into the corners for that 42 as he's trying to figure out a way around Iverson, and he is struggling right now to put the Iverson number 10 of 1 lap down as we had smoke in front of him. That looks like one car just was loose. Is now 42 of Retzlaff going to go to the outside, but yellow flag coming out, and Iverson will be saved by the competition yellow flag. Our 4th and final competition yellow coming out here in the Edwards setup shop. Sobo 200 presented by Track Time Entertainment, and this yellow flag, great time for break. Dave, is that, Track Time Entertainment, I know that you might be in the need for a rig, but you know where they're based out of Texas, and they build the nicest Sims rigs you'll find in the country. So look them up at Track Time Entertainment. I did earlier, and my mind was blown just by how these rigs look. As they have looks like our final pit stops are coming at you down pit road.
Yeah, all the drivers going to go ahead and elect to come down pit road. I don't think we'll see too many drivers gamble here right now. It does look like that 15 and the 27 are staying out. 64 and the 25 also staying out here. Oh, nope, scratch that. They're going to go ahead and come back down to pit road this time by. So everybody going to come get fuel and tires here and set themselves up for the run to the end.
Yeah, we're going to be about a 35-lap shootout once we get the green flag back out in a short run. And it looks like Conklin going to come off in your number 2 spot behind Retzlaff. Putnam going to come off 3rd as that was the race down off of pit road. So Park Retzlaff's crew going to get him back out onto the racetrack, and the number 25 of Soren. So 28 drivers taking the green flag, and I believe there's about 20 spots on the front stretch for drivers to make pit stops. So you have about 8 or 10 drivers down on the back stretch pit road as you see Retzlaff getting pulled up here. But I believe that number 27 of Hill is your current race leader. So the 27 of Aiden Hill, we haven't really talked much about him. He's had a quiet night so far, and he has stayed out there. This driver, the number 27 out of Whitehaven, Pennsylvania, and with the Tire and Sim Wheels sponsored number 27. So he's up as your race lead. Then it's the 96, and let me tell you what, I'm kind of partial to the 96, the Chesterfield, Virginia. He's a 2017 Maxxis National Champion with the K2 Sauce and S&M Auto Service sponsored number 96. This is Charlie Beals. So Beals runs in your number 2 spot. Those 2 drivers staying out here, coming to this last stint. We've seen how it's worked out in the past, but now you're going to have the number 26 or 42, depending on how you see it here on the iRacing screens. It's 26, and they're scoring on the left-hand side of Retzlaff, Conklin, and the 54. Those 2 are the first 2 drivers with fresh tires on their race cars. And we saw how quick work fresh tires make of guys that stay out here. So, Dave, if you're Hill and Beals, what's your number 1 agenda right here coming to the green flag?
If I'm Beals, I'm extremely worried. He was last on the pit road, Al, back at lap number 94, almost 100 laps ago. Those tires are pretty much trash. I'm not sure about the call right there. And if I'm Hill, well, that's where I want the trouble to be. I want it to come with the 96 and catch up a lot of the drivers behind me, like that fast 42. Pace truck down and away. Green flag flies once again, and Beals jumps out to a good start. He's going to snatch that top spot away, but here comes Ratzliff. He looked to the inside of that 47. Not going to get there just yet. Side by side between Beals and Hill back into turn 3. Here comes the 42. Now to the inside, all the way down on the apron. All 4 tires, Al, down on the inside to get to the inside of Hill. He'll set his sights on second. He's going to snatch that away with a slide job. Now look to the inside of the 96. Contact. A lot of drivers mixing it up down that backstretch.
How'd they make it work? Somehow they keep it pointed in the right direction. They're still 2x2, make it 3x3 in some cases. As Beals hold on number 2, but Retzlaff gonna jump out to that race lead. Here comes Blewett. Is the number 87 of Joel Blewett works underneath Beals down here in the turn number 3, and Robbie Kennedy gonna come in there. That number 4 or the number 1 car. He's been riding inside the top 10, working his way towards the front. Now, when the dinner bell is starting to get rung, here's we got him 3 wide off of turn number 2.
Ooh, my goodness, Al. I thought we were going to have another big one in contact back there. I believe that's the 15 of Bear Pullum is having some trouble after some contact.
Oh, another car. Heavy contact. That was the 22 automobile of Richard Malagoni. And the number 22 hitting him as he was just an innocent bystander. The 15 of Polomis was turned sideways there, jumped the right rear of one of the cars. Couldn't make out who it was. As Parker Retzlaff still showed Joel Blewett in your number 2 spot, and Robbie Canelli up 12 spots. Right now, your current hard charger would go to that number 1 as he works off turn number 4.
Yeah, he's up 12 positions on the track, but so is Aaron Smith. But because Kennelly is the highest running driver moving up the most amount of spots, that would lean to his advantage. So right now, Kennelly looking to snatch that hard charger award, being brought to you by Jaboski Designs. And amazingly, Al, it looks like Retzlaff not really blowing the doors off the competitors just yet as we slowly close in to that 26 lap remaining mark. This thing is going to wind down very, very quick. Look for drivers to really push the envelope when trying to make things work here this late in the race.
Yeah, and you see Blewett really trying to close in. He's got Canelli up his tailpipes down here in the turn number 3. As we ride on board with Parker Retzlaff. And you see the gap kind of staying the same there, about 1 second back with 25 laps to go with the Track Time Entertainment, the ESS Stobo 200, and Retzlaff. He came here, set fast time, has led a majority of the race. I would almost be fair to put about 96% of this race led by the 42 of Retzlaff. Is now the battle for second starting to shape up. Canelli really starting to put the pressure to Blewett as they work down here in the turn number 3.
And Blewett gets into the outside wall contact with that outside wall. Not hard contact, just enough to send some sparks in the air, and then Canelli had to check up just a little bit, so that's going to allow Sean Conklin to slowly close in. So we've got about 2/10 between Blewett and Kennedy, and just about the same distance back to that 54 of Conklin. They've stepped away quite a bit from the 3 of Jacob Putnam, so right now it is a 3-car breakaway, second, third, and fourth, as your race leader Ratzliff has set sail. 21 laps to go when we cross the stripe this time by.
And a tough break for the driver who has been up and down all race long. The 0-4 of Tyler Jalbert had just gone through the spin cycle in turns 3 and 4. He's pointed back in the right direction, but he has fallen back to that 12th position as they still battle for this number 2. Is a 3-car battle for second as they work off of turn number 4.
Working their way off of 4. The 87 leads the 1 in the 54. The 3 of Putnam still trying to close in, as it looks like we've got 2 drivers down onto pit road. Tanner Huddleston looked like he went to pit road for just a brief moment. No, it was just a little timing and scoring glitch there. Do apologize, race fans, but he does drop 2 or 3 positions all the way back now to 18th. And with all that going on now, that's put Aaron Smith And that 70 machine up 15 positions now into the 12th spot. He looks to try to capture that hard charger award here tonight.
He does, and as they work down the or the front stretch here, Blewett starting to put some gap between himself as Conklin has made it around the one of Keneally, and now Putnam starting to close in on Keneally. So did the one of Keneally go a little bit too hard early on in this one, or did he take it back and off, cooling the tires off? They are 1.2 seconds back from your race leader, Parker Retzlaff.
And Retzlaff has got nothing to worry about. He may run into some lap traffic, some back markers here in a handful of laps, but he's going to be able to pick his poison, pick when he wants to go around, where he wants to go around, has a 1.3 second race advantage to work with right now, and that's what you want as the race leader late in the going as we get closer to just 15 laps remaining here tonight, Al, is you want to be able to have the option. You want to be able to have the benefit of saying, you know what, I'll get him next corner. I just don't like the way this run is this time by. So right now, Retzlaff kind of has the future in his own hands. He controls his own destiny. How's he going to make his way through these back markers as the battle still rages on? Second, third, and fourth on track.
Yeah, they're still battling it back here. Keneally not quite ready to give that up as he's trying to reel in the number 54 at Conklin. And right now, that there's no yellow flags, as Putnam gets into the backside of Keneally, and Keneally will go around in the 1K. So Keneally going to have to get pointed back in the right direction as him and the three of Putnam have made contact. But Parker Retzlaff down here working lap traffic. There's no yellow flag. So just right there, we just saw Keneally go around. How much are you willing to push the issue if you are the race leader, knowing if one of those drivers, happen to make a mistake, you make contact with them and you go around, there goes your race. No chance of making it back up here. So you got to really pick your poison and be really smooth and patient, I think is the number one word, with just 12 laps to go.
And with that little on-track incident right there, that really broke up that pack of drivers racing at the front. No contact with more drivers back through the field. The 70 of Aaron Smith gets put up into the outside wall just a little bit after contact with the 96 of Charlie Beals. As Beals struggles off of 4 back across the stripe, he'll lose that spot and put Smith up 19 spots now. Al, he's broke into the top 10, running in 8th.
Yeah, he's up to 8th spot now. He's got the number 64, Lemke, right there in front of him in car number 64. That'll be the battle for your 7th spot. Up front, though, Retzlaff still showing a 1.3 second lead with 10 laps to go as he is in heavy lap traffic. The next one he will see is the number 47, and I believe that is Aiden Hill in that number 27 car automobile. 27/47, and Hill will move up the racetrack. Let Retzlaff pass as they work off the corner. So that the great battle is now. Blewett will move into your number 2 spot. Conklin runs 3rd, but him and Putnam are starting to battle it out here for your 3rd and final podium position.
And it looks like that 3 car just a little bit loose into the outside wall now down the backstretch. Looks like he's just a little bit looser than his fellow competitors at this point in time. There you can see him shaking it, coming off of 4 and down the front stretch, hard into turn number 1, almost into the outside, almost into the 54 who was on the outside. Now the 3 looks to the inside once again as they head towards 3.
Great battle. All that time, a little bit of a nudge there from the 3 of Putnam. So Putnam now will move into that 3rd spot, and he'll set his sails for the number 87 of Blewett. But he's got to make up 3 seconds, and we got 5 laps to go. This time off turn number 4. Barney, the flagman, will give him the high 5 sign. 5 laps to go for Parker Retzlaff.
And with just 5 laps to go, it's going to click off the time-in scoring pylon rather quickly. The 3 of Putnam, I don't believe, without any catastrophic incidents for those top 2 runners. Looks like Putnam is going to have to be more concerned with keeping that 54 of Sean Conklin back behind him. And now, with that little bit of a Nerf bar rub, on the driver's side that we seen took place just a handful of laps ago, if you're the driver in that 54 machine, if you're Conklin, do you return the favor, or do you just keep it clean to the end here? What do you do?
It depends whether or not you can get back to him here with just 3 laps to go. Conklin really throws it into turn number 1. Difference of $10 in the payout schedule, based right here and watching this battle for the 3rd spot. As they come off the corner, it'll be 3 laps to go. Make it 2 laps to go for Parker Retzlaff as he enters turn number 1.
Yeah, popsicle sticks last time around for Parker Retzlaff, and it has been pretty much smooth sailing for him and that entire 42-26 crew out there all night long off of 4 white flag. Final lap one time around for your race leader, Retzlaff.
Retzlaff will work down the backstretch for the final time in that number 42 in the turn number 3. Off turn number 4, the Edward Setup Shop. Sobo 200 Showdown presented by Track Time Entertainment will go to the 42 of Parker Retzlaff. Coming home second will be Blewett. Putnam will hold on to third. Conklin fourth, and rounding out your top 5 unofficially will be car number 97 of Riley Duncan. And Duncan will round out your top 5 unofficially, but that was 200 laps of heart-pounding action here tonight at the South Boston Speedway, Dave. And I don't know about you, but to give these drivers a round of applause as they put on one heck of a show for us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And very proud to be in the booth with you here, as now Parker Retzlaff going to burn it down here on the front stretch. And we will see if we will be able to catch up with any of these drivers post-race. Here, and as we do that, we're going to take a quick break. You are watching the Edward Setup Shop, South Boston Showdown 200 on the Turn 3 Racing Network, presented by Track Time Entertainment.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the South Boston Speedway, where you just witnessed the Edward Setup Shop South Boston Showdown 200 presented by Track Time Entertainment. And we are going to catch up with your feature event winner. You see him down there in Victory Lane as we bring in the winner of the South Boston Showdown, and it is the one and only Parker Retzlaff. And Parker, you put a show out there. 200 laps of racing in these Legends cars. We see them loose. We saw them all over the track. How difficult was this race to take and hold on? And not only that, you come home $156 richer with winning it and 2 iRacing paints, courtesy of all of the various sponsors here tonight. How difficult and how much does it mean to win this race to you?
Yeah, I mean, that race, it was crazy. At the beginning of the race, I was just kind of feeling it out, and it started, the car got a lot freer, like as the run went, or like as the tires wore out, and like at the end of like the 40 lap runs, and the restarts are really insane. On that last restart of the race with like 30 to go, I thought I was getting wrecked because it was just such a mess of cars. Just everyone was fighting for the lead, and I luckily just found an opening and got to the lead.
How difficult was that? You know that you didn't have any more yellow flags at that point in that last restart. How difficult was it to try to push the envelope, but also try to be careful, knowing that if something did happen, that was pretty much the end of the race for you?
Yeah, I knew that like if anything happened, that my race was kind of over. But I was kind of happy with what I did, even if something would have happened. I was happy with how the race went up until then, and like everything that I did. So I feel like I did everything that I should have right, and I was kind of confused on what I should do for fuel, and I guess it worked out.
Yeah, talk about that. You had the 4 competition cautions happening every 40 laps or so. How the tire wear, you mentioned how much the car changed in a 40 lap run. How difficult was it? And we saw a few guys try to stay out. Did you ever think about staying out and trying not to take a few tires there?
No, me and my teammate Robbie Canale were both watching it like the first run, and we seen that the tire fall off like 4 to 5 tenths over like 40 laps. So like staying out and not taking tires just wasn't an option. So I knew that you had to take 4, or it was just gonna screw you. But I didn't want to. I wanted to make sure I set myself to where I didn't have to take fuel for the last run of the race.
Well, you did a great job here, and before we let you go, congratulations on all your winnings here tonight. You picked up the Fast Time Award. You led the most laps here tonight. Led at the halfway point, so you had a lot of various awards coming your way. But who makes it all possible for this 42 to be parked here, down here in Victory Lane at the South Boston Speedway?
Yeah, I have to thank Ponzi Ecotrax, Iron Horse Loggers, Logwood for Kids, my parents who I know are watching, for everything they do for me. Austin Edwards for putting this whole race on. This was lots of fun. It's the first time I've ever done this, and everyone else who supports my real life racing and my sim racing.
Well, congratulations on the win. That's tonight's feature event winner, the ESS Sobo Showdown 200 winner, presented by Track Time Entertainment. It is Parker Retzlaff, and he will pick up a big payday here, and we'll move on to our second place driver, and that was the driver of the number 87 of Joel Blewett. And Joel, you had a heck of a battle there in the second stage with eventually race winner Parker Retzlaff, and talk us through that battle. We saw you using the outside, the inside, and you guys ran clean and hard. How much fun was this race for you?
Oh, it was insane, and there's a lot of moments where I thought I was going to get wrecked, or it was really interesting. A lot of different things happened, and battling with Parker was fun. You know, he's really fast and clean, so yeah, I was happy to have that opportunity, really.
Well, you come home in the number 2 spot, but you had a great battles all the way through this field. We saw you have to start a little bit deeper in the field and work your way around. How difficult was this race car to wrestle around the South Boston Speedway for 200 laps?
Over a long run, once the tyres started to get heating up, that's when it got really difficult, and it got really loose, especially on exits, and a few times I nearly lost it. So.
Well, it was a very, very good day. You're going to come home in that number 2 spot here tonight. So you're going to be walking away with some cold, hard cash. It looks like in the amount of $40 for finishing second, depending on post-race technical inspection here at the South Boston Speedway. But overall, a great showing for you. Who makes it all possible for you in this number 87?
I'd like to thank Jones Racing Setups, and all those guys have helped me to get where I am, really, and motivated me and everything, and especially John Jones. He's the only reason I'm where I am right now, so mainly those guys.
Well, congratulations on second place. That's your second place finisher, the driver of the number 87 of Joel Blewett. Congratulations, Joel.
Thank you.
Joel Blewett will come home in your number 2 spot. Now finishing in the third and final position will be the number 3 of Jacob Putnam. And Putnam, you come home third, but you had to really battle it out here in the later stages of this race to come home in this number 3 position in car number 3.
Yeah, it was a good race. We ran up front the whole time. It's just the cautions really got me.
You talk about the caution flags coming out here every 40 laps. Here is the competition cautions, and not only that, there's no yellow flags in between there. So how difficult in the driver's seat is it to sit there and be like, all right, I know I need to go and go hard, but you also know that if you get into trouble, it's going to pretty much put a damper on your race night. So talk us the tightrope that you have to walk there, but trying to be aggressive, but also trying to be smooth to stay out of trouble.
I mean, yeah. I mean, my goal was really just to run mid-pack. I didn't really think I was going to be running up so far up front after my qualifying position. But I mean, Mark Retzlaff had a good night, and I knew I was going to be able to beat him, so I was just taking it easy when I could behind him.
Well, you're going to walk out of the ESS Sobo Showdown 200 presented by Track Time Entertainment with a nice third place finish. By the sounds of it, you're a little bit surprised of that, but you ran a good race, kept it clean there, and you come home with a third place. So who makes it all possible for you in this number 3 team?
John Jones, JRS Racing, Go Blewett, just all my good buddies that helped me, and my team owner for paying my entry fee.
Well, congratulations on third, Jacob. We'll see you on the racing scene throughout the rest of the year, hopefully. And congratulations on third.
Yes, thank you, sir.
That's Jacob Putnam, your number 3 driver here tonight. And it rounds out the podium. And as we come back to live pictures here at the South Boston Speedway, well, we won't come back. We'll come back here as the session has come to a close, it looks like. But the results here tonight for the ESS Sobo Showdown 200 presented by Track Time Entertainment. And we want to thank Track Time Entertainment for being the presenting sponsor of the ESS Sobo 200, and is based out of Texas. Build the nicest sim rigs you'll ever find in the country, American made, right here in the US of A. So look them up, Track Time Entertainment. We also want to thank K2 Sauce at k2sauce.com. The best sauce you'll ever have, only sauce you'll ever need. Barbecue, steak, wing, or even stir fry. 3-pack products were given out to the second place drivers on lap 222 and lap 122. We also want to thank the Jazbowski Designs, who is iRacing painter, for the free paint to Parker Retzlaff and the hard charger of the race. You see him right there in the number 70 on your screen in the top 18 rundown of Aaron Smith. Up 20 positions here. Up 20 positions. Yeah, I said that right. He started back in the 27th position, and he comes home to finish inside the top 10 in the 7th position. Also like to thank Jones Racing Setups for a one-stop shop for your race records capable setups at lowest prices you'll find anywhere. Guaranteed, it's Jones Racing Setups. Dirt FX Designs, $30 for the Fast Time Reward that went to Parker Retzlaff, along with the halfway leader, who was, I believe, would be the number 42 of Parker Retzlaff as well here. Tyron Sim Industries, Lap 100 Mid-Pack Award sponsor. We want to thank them for everything that they did for the ESS Sobo 200. And the RVM, the Racing Vernon Motorsports, for stepping on up here, along with all of the other sponsors. And we can go down the list here for that. We had Dark Moon Motorsports and Bubba Iverson Racing. We want to thank them. And the Short Track Super League, the Tough Luck Award, being handed out here tonight as well. JRS Racing is also a sponsor of this race. And Jalbert Racing for finishing with the last car still running. You will get $5 here tonight. And let's take a look at this. Parker Retzlaff picking up the win. We heard from him along with Joel Blewett and Jacob Putnam. Sean Conklin will settle for a 4th place spot, with Riley Duncan with a 5th spot here tonight. Jared Melton will come home in the number 6 spot, followed by Aaron Smith, your hard charger of the race, will come home 7th. Charlie Beals, Tyler Jalbert rebounds for a 9th place, and Stephen Chun will round out your top 10. Robbie Keneally will settle for a 11th spot in car number 1. Andrew Lemke in the last car on the lead lap, car number 81 of Blake Wynn. Jack Mace will come home in the 14th spot. Aiden Hill, Tanner Huddleston, Caleb Steimer, and Cameron Iverson rounding out your top 18. Rounding out your field in shot number 19 was Benalis in car number 5. It'll be Nathan Soren in car 25. Barrett Polhemus in car number 15 will finish 21st. Richard Melagini in car number 22. And I'm sorry, Richard, I butchered your name through the blender here tonight, and I'm very sorry about that. Raymond Root in car number 69 will finish 23rd. Braden Morey will finish 24th. Rocky Boyd III will finish 25th. Rocky Boyd in car number 52 will finish 26th. Mike Killen and Rob Marriott will round out your field in the 13 car. That is your 28 car field that started here, and it was at the end of the day the number 42 of Parker Retzlaff picking up the win here tonight at the ESS Showdown presented by Track Time Entertainment. For everybody here at the Turn 3 Racing Network, my name is Al Smith, the boss man. I want to thank Dave in the cave for stopping in and giving me a hand here, and we'll see you at the races.